We get the Nashville perspective of things, and he said he was going to be in his car. So we are going with safe guesting here and bringing our buddy Lucas Panzica from 104.5 The Zone in Nashville. Lucas, are you safe guesting this morning?
Safe guesting, John. You don't have to feel any guilt. The seatbelt's on. Eyes are on the road. All good over here. And trust me, Nashville traffic ain't as bad as Atlanta. So yes, good to go.
Okay. All right. So we like to bring you in basically since you've got golden ticket status whenever you want, but specifically now that Nashville's coming to town. Since the last time we talked, you were on vacation when Nashville had a coaching change. You got to learn that from me via text when you were in the Mediterranean enjoying the blue seas of the Mediterranean. So what has life been like in Nashville with a transitional coach and now B.J. Callahan in charge?
I mean, you said it. Transition is the kind of the theme of the year, not too different from Atlanta United, I guess. A season that started for both clubs, with talk about ambitions for a trophy that turned into a season of transition. Yeah, it was a day after the draw against Atlanta that Gary Smith was let go, and then Ruba Muntali got kind of the second third, so to speak, of the season. I think 12, 13 games with Rumba as the interim as they were waiting for B.J. Callahan to come available with the U.S. men's national team. That happens, and then B.J. Callahan gets the final third of the regular season, and he's trying to dig out of a hole in the Eastern Conference basement and make a run, string some results together to get into the playoffs. But there's no question that the Callahan hire is about a long-term project. It's about a youth movement, just with how many veteran players are on this Nashville roster. So it will take a couple of windows for his vision to kind of come fully into effect, but we are seeing the bones of what he wants to do just from, a play style approach. It's polar opposite from what Nashville was doing under Gary Smith. So yes, quite the transition that Nashville SC is undergoing at the moment.
All right. So you mentioned said transition. I mean, most of the time it has been in the past where Hani and or Sam Surridge and or Jacob Schaffelberg, you're running three verts. And basically, whoever the quarterback is at the time, trying to figure out what receiver's got the fly route going. He's got the 9 going and try to create things in transition. Just how different is it right now?
Well, they want the ball. I mean, everything you thought of Nashville in the past, it's pretty much the opposite, John. They want the ball. They want to be in the opponent's half. They want to, they want to spend time in the final third. They want to be the ones on the front foot. They want to be aggressive. They want to counter press. So the attack is certainly very different, but that means that the defending aspect is different. And suddenly Nashville's having, instead of being kind of locked in with bodies compact in their own half, making things difficult for the opponent, suddenly Nashville is at times defending in space and having a lot of green grass to cover where they're the ones having to defend in transition. And that's not something that this club is very used to. But look, at the moment, you're seeing them do what BJ wants to do just without that final product. It's kind of about turning performances into production and into points at the moment, because it's one of those things that there's not really a saying like there is in basketball and soccer of, a lid on the basket like there is in basketball. That's kind of the feeling right now for Nashville in front of goal. Their numbers are up in terms of XG, touches in the opposition box, possession, but it's not really turning into a breakthrough in terms of scoring. One-on-ones with the keeper that are getting saved, back post headers that are hitting the post. So opportunities that Nashville needs to take advantage of. And the hope is the floodgates will kind of open from there and one result will turn into another. But we'll see what happens in Atlanta.
Lucas Panzica, 104.5 The Zone, hanging out with us, giving the Nashville perspective as we get ready for Nashville, making the roadie down here this weekend to take on Atlanta United. Almost reminds me of stuff going on here that fans will talk about when it comes to lack of numbers of goals going in the back of the net. Reminds me of like when you're at Bridgestone and you have the contest of, okay, I need you to shoot the puck from the defensive half through the two blue lines and into the hole that's the size of the hockey puck to win the car. That's what that sounds like with Nashville right now.
No doubt. I mean, it's just about putting the ball in the back of the net. For Hani Mukhtar, it's about ending a streak, that goes back to June, late June, his last goal in MLS play. And that was a penalty kick. So really you're going back to April in terms of the last time Hani scored in the run of play in an MLS game. So, uncharted territory for a lot of guys on this roster. Kind of like Atlanta, Nashville made one big move in the summer window. Not as big a name as Alexei Miranchuk, but Patrick Yazbek, part of that youth movement, a U22 midfielder that comes over, and he's suspended. So that's something Nashville's having to overcome. He was a critical part of their midfield, and he will be serving the second of his 2-game suspension against Atlanta. So Nashville's got to get a spark from Hani. Has got to get a way to put Sam Surridge with an opportunity in front of the goal, to get Jacob Schaffelberg in front of the goal, and maybe get some of that international form over to the club level that he's shown with the Canadian national team this year. So no doubt it's about finding a breakthrough this week against Atlanta United on the road in a tough environment, which will not be an easy thing to do.
You mentioned the front three, the big three names, and obviously you mentioned Yazbek serving the second match of his 2-match suspension. Give me somebody off the beaten track. Give me somebody on that second level that has to click right now under the BJ Callahan administration for things to go well for Nashville. Who do you think that would be?
Yeah, I'll give you somebody that could be coming back from injury this weekend, and that's Drew Yearwood, the midfielder they acquired from New York Red Bulls last offseason. And it hasn't helped that Nashville has been decimated by injuries, especially in central midfield. Drew Yearwood, Randall Ayal with a long-term injury, Tyler Boyd tore his ACL before the League's Cup break. So it's Sean Davis hasn't been available. It's kind of just been one thing after the other. But BJ Callahan said this week that Drew Yearwood could be available for selection against Atlanta, and that'll be a big boost to have him in midfield, especially with Yazbek out, just to be that ball progressor that can lean into the way they want to play. And then outside of that, let's say Yearwood can't go, or he makes the trip, but he doesn't see a lot of time. Then this team needs some closing moments from Alex Moyle, who has always been that under the radar workhorse, underutilized utility player that not underutilized, but underrated utility player that Nashville can move around, can play on the wing, can play in central midfield. I mean, he's played wing back for this team. So he's played a ton of minutes for Nashville. And there were a couple moments against Orlando where he's one-on-one with Pedro Gallese and was unable to finish, where he has a header on an open part of the net that goes over the bar. So those role players have got to find those finishing moments for Nashville to be able to close out in the margins. But Drew Yearwood, if he does come back from injury, will have to be a really influential player
as he's drifting in between cells. And I was about to ask the broadcast plans for 104.5 The Zone in Nashville SC. I'm waiting for things to transition, waiting for Lucas to get there. Oh, you almost had him. I'm waiting for Lucas to come through the other side of whatever swale he is in so I can get the promo in for Lucas and everything there at 104.5 The Zone in Nashville. We thought that it would be vital to have – wait, there he is. Oh, wait. All right, where are you? Did you make it out of the hill?
You got me?
Yes.
You got me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that.
No.
What'd you miss?
Nothing. You were wrapping up your sentence, and I was asking you for the promo because I know that you're heading someplace right now. I imagine you're heading into work.
Yes, that's right. Out of East Nashville into downtown.
So hit the promo for me, and what are the broadcast plans for Nashville coming up this weekend?
Yeah, we're going to be on the 104.5 The Zone app this weekend. We are not terrestrial because of Vol Network coverage with Tennessee hosting Kent State. So we will be on the app, which can be accessed anywhere, 104.5 The Zone. And there is a specific Nashville SC live stream on the app. That is where myself and my partner, Will Bowling, will be this weekend. So hopefully it's a good game. I feel like when these two get together, there's always, something interesting. Certainly. Last time it was that Gary Smith was let go the day after, but we'll see if it gets heated. But I think it could be a fun matchup for two teams that need 3 points, John. I don't think anybody's happy to settle for a draw here.
No doubt. One question from our listener watcher who is actually in Australia. Bam wants to know what Australian words and or sayings have you learned from Yazbek?
Oh, man, I haven't learned one yet. Because to be honest, he's played the 2 Leagues Cup game and then had the incident in the first half against Austin. So we haven't talked to Patrick since then. But that is something. It's really just been a process of getting to know him in the beginning, and then he's kind of out for a couple of games. So once he gets back and we get a chance to have a proper kind of sit down interview that's beyond a press conference setting, then that is absolutely something I look forward to hearing. But it has been cool to hear his background with being such a big Aussie Rules football fan and the influence that had, even on the celebration that he does with the Foxtrot, coming from a big-time Aussie Rules football player and that type of thing. So it's been cool to get to know him, and he's going to be a big part of what Nashville wants to do under B.J. Callahan.
No doubt about it. Port Adelaide with a big win this morning as they advance to the Final Four, beating and hanging on over Hawthorn very early this morning before I was getting on the air. And I was getting really close to missing my deadlines here because of the activity going on this weekend. Shame he played for Sydney FC, according to Bam. Be safe, my friend, and just both hands on the wheel. Enjoy work, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for dropping by on your way into work this morning.
You got it, John. Anytime, man. Looking forward to the game on Saturday. See y'all.
All right. Be good. Lucas Panzica, 104.5 The Zone. And Lucas, a part of the broadcast team with Will Bowling. And so it's going to be on the app. If you want to listen to the Nashville side of things, you can listen to the app at 104.5 The Zone with Lucas and Will. And then Jason will be in an hour number 2, and it'll be 92.9 The Game, the Odyssey app.